Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to MASSP's Become a Legend of Zoom video series. My name is Ryan Casey, Director of Digital Learning for MASSP.
And I'm Matt Alley, Director of Student Services for MASSP. So for today's edition, what we're talking about today are the major do's and don'ts of Zoom. If you're still getting used to the platform, we've compiled a very quick list of things you should absolutely consider doing and a list of things you should never do under any circumstances.
Okay, for our first strategy and what to do to make the most of your Zoom meetings is to make sure that you know how to properly join the meeting and are connected and that all of your tech is working properly.
And there's quite a few features to recognize once you actually get into the meeting. Down and next to both the microphone and the camera button, there are little up arrows. Both those arrows are very useful features as you can play with your settings to optimize not only your own personal experience, but the experience that people on the other end of the call will receive.
Exactly. One thing you want to make sure you aren't doing, so this would be a don't, is to be the person on the line that can't hear anything, can't say anything, or can't see anything. So for example...
Oh, hey Ryan, welcome buddy. Hey, thanks for taking a couple minutes here with me. Can you turn your video on real quick? How's everything going today? Ryan, can you turn your microphone on, please?
Can you hear me now?
Next on our list of Zoom do's would be to consider your background at all times. Do you have the right lighting? Do you have the right camera angle? There are many things to consider other than your face and your presence once you hop on a Zoom call.
That's right. So for example, you'll notice Matt and I are both using these custom virtual backgrounds. You can use this in Zoom as long as you have the minimum computer requirements to do it. You simply can take any background image, whether you want to Google search for one, or maybe you make one that has your school, a mascot in the background, something like that. And all you have to do is go down to the little camera video button on the control bar, hit the down arrow, or the up arrow, excuse me, and then there's a virtual background setting, and that's where you can select it. And for Matt and I, with 4 kids each at home running around with pitchforks and God knows what, this is a nice background versus watching maybe the pandemonium that happens behind us sometimes.
And as fun as these virtual backgrounds are, and I agree, we've seen a lot of districts try to implement some type of uniform or custom background for their employees to use, especially when they're on calls with other staff members and students. There are also boundaries that need to be considered. Consider these don'ts. Watch your camera angle.
How are we doing today, Matt? Is this good? Can you guys see me? We're good still?
Yeah, we look good, buddy.
All right, good.
There.
Do you like my background?
I can smell your breath.
And don't forget that although you're only shooting from the waist up, you still have to be mindful of what makes it into your video frame.
That's exactly right, Ryan. Couldn't agree more.
Yikes. Our third strategy for some do's and don'ts for your Zoom meetings is to make sure that you understand the protocols in place for your meetings.
Absolutely. And it's not even understanding the protocols, but maybe even creating your own protocols. It's never too late to come up with a set of standards for you and your staff. Whether you are going to have time for a one-word check-in, icebreaker at the beginning of the meeting, whether you're going to use and enable the raise a hand feature so people aren't talking over one another, whether you want to set your meetings so that everybody is muted upon entry. You have to have a set of standards in place so that people not only understand how the meetings are supposed to flow, but so they run smooth, streamlined, and you can get as much information across and consider everyone's time during your Zoom meeting.
So don't forget the protocols that are in place for your meeting, like remembering to remain muted until you are called on to share. So for example, right now, I'm the host, and I'm leading my staff through a faculty meeting. Please make sure that you are muted so there aren't a bunch of side conversations that are popping up. Or if you decide to take a phone call, for example, it's really important that it's really important.
I get that. Just on a Zoom meeting.
It's hard for people.
Oh, it's just Ryan. And going on and on thinking he knows everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. For our fourth quick strategy, become a legend of Zoom. We really want to touch on agendas. In order for your meetings to be very efficient, you have to have an agenda and stick to it.
Absolutely. So do make sure that you are using an agenda with some sort of structure or timeline associated with it to keep the topics and conversations and discussions on track. So whether or not you can send out the agenda as an email ahead of time, or you have the agenda typed up as a slide or as a document on your screen that you can share, and you guys can check back into that throughout your Zoom or Google Hangouts meeting, that'll let everybody stay on pace in those meetings. So make sure you are using those agendas and sticking to them.
And now for hour 3 of our staff meeting, we are going to cover email etiquette and tone. When writing an email.
And our fifth and final strategy of some do's and don'ts to help you become a legend of Zoom is ask yourself, does this meeting even need to be a Zoom meeting or a video conference?
Couldn't agree more with that. Y'all remember phones? Phones still work. Feel free to examine what you need to talk about, who you need to talk with, and if a phone call would be more appropriate than a video chat. And just to showcase best practice for my next meeting, instead of having that video chat, I'll make a quick phone call to my buddy Ryan.
Huh.
Ringing.
Oh, my buddy Matt Alley. Nope.
And that concludes our Legends of Zoom session for today. A very quick list of do's and don'ts. I'm hoping that a lot of these strategies are not familiar, not new territory, something you've thought about, but now you can actually put into practice.
That's right. And if you didn't see our first video resource Matt and I shared on some tips and strategies to shake up your online or Zoom meetings, you can check that out on the MASSP YouTube video page, as well as this video. When it drops, head on over there. You can subscribe and become notified anytime we add video resources like this to that page. We appreciate your time. Good luck on your next online or virtual meeting. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.